This episode of MythConceptions is brought to you by Prof. Harden. Thank you again for your contribution. Okie dokie. Today we're going to learn about Akuma, which is a term often associated with demons or evil spirits, and how it plays a significant role in Japanese folklore and religious practices. We'll talk about the origins of Akuma, how these beings have been perceived and characterized throughout history. We'll also explore the historical context, focusing on the Heian period, a time when the concept of Akuma became especially prominent due to the merging of various religious influences, the mythological roles that Akuma plays as an antagonist, and then there's a broader category of yokai, the supernatural creatures of Japanese folklore, and how Shinto protector deities are invoked to combat Akuma's influence. Let's do this. Akuma is a general term in Japanese mythology for malevolent demons or evil spirits. If you've ever watched Samurai Jack, Aku is one of these types of demons. These entities are known for their malevolent nature and are often depicted as tormenting the living. The term itself can refer to a wide range of supernatural beings that embody evil and disharmony. Unlike benevolent spirits, Akuma are intent on causing harm, fear, and misfortune. These sinister beings are often linked to natural disasters, plagues, or miseries that befall individuals or communities. They might be blamed for unexplained illnesses, crop failures, or sudden deaths. The presence of Akuma in folklore offers a way to explain the unexplainable and serves as a warning to adhere to moral codes and cultural traditions. Understanding Akuma also provides insight into the psychological landscape of historical Japan, where fear of the unknown and the unseen could be personified in the form of these demonic entities. The stories and beliefs surrounding Akuma contribute to a detailed history of folklore that reveals much about the values and fears of the societies that believed in them. In Buddhism, the term Akuma is synonymous with Mara. Mara is the demon who made numerous attempts to lead Siddhartha Gautama, who later became the Buddha, away from the path to enlightenment. This demon symbolizes the myriad obstacles and temptations that can divert individuals from achieving spiritual awakening and inner peace. Much like Satan in Christianity, who is often depicted as the quintessential tempter and adversary of humanity's moral journey. Mara personifies the internal and external challenges that disrupt one's progress towards enlightenment. By understanding Akuma in the context of Buddhism, we gain deeper insight into the spiritual struggle. The concept of Akuma gained prominence during the Heian period. It spans from 794 to 1185 AD. This era was significant for its cultural and religious transformations, marking a time when various beliefs and practices intermingled. The Heian period saw the merging of Buddhism, Shinto, and other spiritual traditions, each contributing elements to the understanding of evil spirits. As these influences converged, the notion of Akuma evolved, enriching its mythological significance. During this time, Akuma came to embody the fears and anxieties of the people, acting as a symbol of malevolent forces that disrupted the harmony of life. The tales of Akuma were circulated through oral traditions, literature, and art, making their mark on Japanese folklore. This period's literary works, poetry, and court tales often featured Akuma, illustrating their role as harbingers of chaos and disorder. So by the end of the Heian period, Akuma had become deeply entrenched in the cultural consciousness, solidifying their place in the collective imagination of Japanese society. This laid the foundation for their continued presence in subsequent eras, influencing how future generations perceived and interacted with these spirits. In the history of both No and Kabuki theater, Akuma is depicted as a harrowing embodiment of evil forces or malevolent spirits. In No theater, which emerged in the 14th century, Akuma characters are often portrayed with haunting masks to convey their demonic nature. The subtle, deliberate movements and ethereal atmosphere of No performances create an otherworldly effect, making the presence of Akuma all the more chilling. The meticulous use of costumes, music, and stagecraft in No not only highlights the nature of Akuma, but also underscores the broader battle between good and evil, a recurring theme in Japanese culture. On the other hand, Kabuki theater, known for its more dynamic and vibrant performances, presents Akuma with a flamboyant flair. Akuma often burst onto the stage with exaggerated gestures and elaborate makeup, embodying chaos and fear. The high-energy performances and exaggerated storytelling in Kabuki make the evil spirits feel larger than life, capturing the imagination of the audience and illustrating the cultural significance of Akuma as an emblem of malevolence. In mythological stories, Akuma takes on the role of the antagonist, often confronting heroes and deities in epic battles of good versus evil. These demons serve as formidable adversaries, creating obstacles that the protagonist must overcome, highlighting the eternal struggle between light and darkness in Japanese folklore. To combat the influence of Akuma, traditional Japanese exorcism rituals play a crucial role. One such practice involves the use of ofuda, or talismans, which are inscribed with sacred texts and blessed by Shinto priests. These talismans are believed to possess the power to repel evil spirits and are typically placed in homes, on doorways, or carried as personal protective amulets. The rituals don't stop at the use of these talismans. They often include elaborate ceremonies that call upon the aid of protector deities and involve chanting, offerings, and purification rites. The goal is to cleanse the affected person or place of influences and restore harmony and peace. In an era long past, nestled in the heart of a remote village, there stood an ancient mansion. Its grand walls and ornate carvings whispered secrets of a bygone era, where stories of joy and sorrow had unfolded within its chambers. A somber shadow had now settled over this majestic abode. The mansion had become home to a terrifying demon. No one knew how or why it had chosen this place, but its presence was unmistakable. From the moment it arrived, the air grew thick with an unshakable sense of ease. The once lively corridors now echoed with silent dread, and invisible eyes seemed to watch from every corner. The inhabitants lived in constant fear. They felt it in their bones, a creeping chill that sapped their strength and clouded their minds. It wasn't long before odd illnesses began to spread, fevers that could not be broken, fatigue that sapped the vigor of the young and old alike. Whispers of the demon's foul deeds spread quickly, and the mansion's name became synonymous with horror. Day and night, the residents felt the oppressive weight of the demon's presence. Desperate for relief, they tried everything within their power: prayers, rituals, offerings, hoping to appease or drive away the spirit. But the demon thrived on their fear, growing bolder with each failed attempt to cast it out. The mansion's once beautiful gardens wilted and withered, reflecting the despair within. Servants fled, and the bravest among them hesitated at the doorway, feeling an invisible force repel them. Nights were the most terrifying. Strange noises echoed through the halls, and shadowy figures danced in the moonlight, taunting anyone who dared remain awake. Hope was a distant memory for those trapped within the walls. The demon's presence consumed their thoughts, and the promise of a peaceful life seemed forever lost. All that remained was a haunting silence, broken only by the occasional whispered suggestion of yet another futile plan to rid their home of the demon's curse. Despite their best efforts, the residents of the mansion are unable to rid themselves of the malevolent spirit. Each attempt to oust the demon only comes to enhance its power, increasing the suffering and despair for those who live there. In the beginning, they tried simple remedies. They sought the help of local priests who performed rituals and chanted prayers, hoping to cleanse the mansion of the evil force. Incense burned, holy words echoed through the halls, but the demon remained, almost mocking their efforts. As the rituals grew more fervent, the entity seemed to grow stronger, feeding off their desperation. Despair settled over the mansion like a fog. The once vibrant household became a place of shadows. The air grew colder. Whispers of eerie voices filled the nights, and the walls seemed to pulse with a life of their own. Faint knocks and scratching sounds became a constant reminder of the unseen presence that tormented them. The people fell ill without explanation. The healthiest and strongest became weak and feverish, their energies drained by the demon's presence. The children wept and refused to sleep in their own rooms, too terrified by the ominous shapes they claimed to see lurking in the darkness. Every dawn was met not with relief, but with the dread of another day under the grip of the sinister force. Desperation led to more extreme measures. Exorcisms by renowned mystics were conducted, each more elaborate and intense than the last. Sacred symbols were drawn on the walls, talismans were worn, and protective charms were placed in every corner. Yet, with every failed attempt, the demon's presence seemed to become more tangible, its laughter a chilling echo that reverberated through the halls. The mansion's once cheerful and lively environment became a prison of fear and anguish. The residents could do nothing but wait and hope for a miracle, praying for a savior who could finally break the curse and free them from the relentless grip of the haunting demon. And just when the mansion's residents began to lose hope, word spread of a man whose valor and reputation preceded him. The warrior, clad in gleaming armor and exuding an aura of confidence, arrived at the mansion. His very presence seemed to cut through the dread that settled like a thick fog around the estate. He inquired about the hauntings, intently listening to the tales of illness and fear. With each story, his resolve to help only grew stronger. The warrior knew this would be no ordinary battle. He would need his sharpest wits and steeliest nerves to face the demons that had wrought so much havoc. With determination blazing in his eyes, he explored the mansion, seeking out signs of the demon's presence. Dark, claw-like marks on the walls and a chilling cold in certain rooms confirmed the ghostly tales. His years of training as a warrior had prepared him to face physical enemies, but this challenge was unique. He held firm to his belief that courage and skill could overcome even the most formidable adversaries. Residents watched with a mix of fear and hope as he formulated his plan. The warrior prepared his weapons and armor, ensuring everything was in perfect condition. He crafted a strategy drawing from ancient techniques and his own experiences battling forces of darkness. The gravity of the situation was not lost on him. He knew the stakes were high, but so was his resolve to see this through. As night fell and the mansion's eerie quiet deepened, the warrior steeled himself for the confrontation. He focused his mind, shutting out any remnants of fear. This was a test of not just physical prowess, but his mental fortitude. With the household's fate resting on his shoulders, he moved towards the heart of the mansion where he sensed the demon's presence most strongly. His courage unwavering, the warrior was ready to face whatever terror awaited him in the shadows. The shadows in the mansion seemed to move with a life of their own. The warrior, clad in armor and armed with his sacred blade, stepped into the cursed mansion with a resolute heart. The air was thick with a dreadful chill as he navigated through the dark hallways, each step echoing in the eerie silence. Suddenly, the temperature dropped further, and a haunting laugh resonated through the walls. The demon had appeared. Its monstrous figure flickered in and out of the shadows, eyes gleaming with malice. It attacked with terrifying speed, its claws slicing through the air toward the warrior. But he was ready. Swiftly, he dodged the attack, positioning himself for the battle that would determine the fate of the household. The clash began. The warrior's blade sang as it sliced through the air, while the demon retaliated with unearthly strength. It was a battle of sheer will and courage. Each strike from the warrior was met with a counter from the demon, the very walls of the mansion trembling from their ferocious exchange. Despite the demon's overwhelming power, the warrior remained undaunted. His courage was a beacon in the darkness, driving him forward. With every clash, he began to understand the demon's movements and started anticipating its attacks. Slowly but surely, he turned the tide of the battle. A pivotal moment arrived when the demon lunged with all its might, and the warrior, seizing the opportunity, dodged swiftly and delivered a decisive blow with his sacred blade. The demon howled in agony, its monstrous form beginning to dissipate. With one final burst of strength, the hero drove his blade deeper, and with a blinding flash, the demon was finally banished. The dark presence lifted. The oppressive atmosphere evaporated into the night. The mansion, once a place of fear and suffering, began to feel warmer, almost alive with relief. Peace had returned, and with it, the promise of better days for the inhabitants. Victory belonged to the brave warrior who faced the darkness with unwavering resolve, restoring light and hope to the once haunted household. With the demon gone, the mansion, once a place of illness and fear, undergoes an incredible transformation. The heavy, oppressive atmosphere lifts and is replaced by a sense of lightness and renewed energy. Health returns to the residents who had been suffering from what felt like an eternity. Smiles appear on the faces that had long been marked by despair. The warrior's victory over the demon brought a sense of relief and joy to the inhabitants. The household fills with the sound of laughter and chatter, something that seemed almost impossible just days before. Rooms that were once avoided out of fear are now bustling with activity and warmth. The once ghostly cold corridors echo with signs of life. Gratitude and admiration for the warrior flow freely from every corner of the mansion. The residents offer thanks not only for their reclaimed home, but also for the lessons the warrior's bravery imparted. His courage in the face of such overwhelming evil is an inspiration to all, bringing hope and belief that no darkness is too great to overcome. Akuma is sometimes classified among the yokai in Japanese folklore. The yokai is a broad category of supernatural creatures and encompasses a variety of beings from mischievous spirits to terrifying demons. Among these, Akuma stands out as a malevolent force, posing a significant threat to human well-being. But the story of Akuma doesn't end with their ominous influence. To counter these malevolent spirits, Japanese mythology brings forth Shinto protector deities. These deities act as guardians, invoked to combat the evil forces of Akuma and shield the faithful from harm. One notable example is the deity Susanoo, known for his role in banishing serpents and other dark entities. The presence of these protector figures underlines the importance of balance in Japanese mythos. These interactions between Akuma and the protector deities highlight the eternal struggle between good and evil. It's a dualistic nature that mirrors other cultural mythologies, yet remains uniquely Japanese in its expression and rituals. The duality is also evident in various traditional practices. For instance, during exorcism rituals, individuals may call upon these protector deities to drive away Akuma and restore harmony. Through these rituals and the lore surrounding the deities, we gain valuable insights into how Japanese culture perceives and handles the balance of opposing forces. The intertwining of yokai, Akuma, and Shinto protector deities reveals a complex but fascinating part of Japanese mythological landscape. It shows us that while evil exists, it is continually challenged by forces of good, which is a universal theme that resonates through the ages. The presence of Akuma in historical texts offer a fascinating view on how these malevolent spirits are understood in ancient Japan. One significant source is the Kanjaku Monogatari, a collection of Japanese tales from the late Heian period. This text, consisting of hundreds of stories, provides invaluable insights into the cultural and religious fabric of the time. Akuma is depicted within these tales as a formidable opponent, often challenging heroes and divine beings alike. These stories not only illustrate the fear and respect held for the demons, but also reflect the ways in which society sought to combat or appease them. All right, that's all I got for today. Thanks for listening. If you like it, hit that subscribe button for us. If you don't like it, that's okay too. Other than that, have a great day.